Chapter 927. Wilbur chuckled. He placed his hands behind his back and asked, "What do you think?" Another moment of dead silence. A long time later, everyone came to their realization. Styles Dune had been defeated. How was that possible? For a moment, the casino bosses started to question everything in their lives. They looked timid, not knowing what to do. Styles was a super sanctuary level cultivator. He was supposed to be invincible. How could he be defeated? The other spectators in the distance were still trying to make their way forward, trying to show themselves in front of Styles to fawn over him, especially Edward and Jesse. The battle ended in less than 3 minutes, just as they predicted. This time, not only could they pay off their debts, but they could even earn some as well. They cheerfully squeezed their way forward. No matter what, they had to congratulate Styles, even if it was just from far away. At that moment, the bosses who came to their senses were completely overwhelmed by fear. They looked at Wilbur in horror. They trembled so much they could hardly stand. Styles Dune had been defeated. In such a fight, being defeated meant being killed. There was no possibility that the loser survived. It meant that Styles was dead. The ruler of Aroma has fallen. Logan was crestfallen. He kept shaking his head in denial. He could not come to terms with the fact that Styles had been defeated. Gaston could not believe his eyes either. He kept looking at Wilbur in a daze, as if trying to get an answer from his face. Wilbur looked calm and expressionless. There was neither joy or sadness on his face. At that moment, a huge group of people swarmed over. When they realized that the man who came down the hill was Trevor, they were shocked. They looked at him in bewilderment. They instantly froze on the spot. At this moment, Gaston could not help but say, "This is impossible. Where's Mr. Dune?" He still could not believe that Styles had been defeated. Wilbur's gaze darkened and he threw a punch, striking Gaston with terrifying force. Gaston immediately increased his spiritual energy and cast a protective shield right in front of himself. The runes on the shield spun, giving off a solid aura. He was truly a sanctuary-level cultivator. However, Wilbur's punch shattered the shield into pieces, and his fist landed squarely on Gaston's chest. Gaston's heart exploded and his lifeless body fell to the ground. Logan was terrified. He immediately increased his spiritual energy and leaped into the air. His first reaction was to run away. Styles had died in Wilbur's hands, and Gaston was killed with just a punch. He had no confidence that he could go up against Wilbur. Wilbur snickered and waved his fist in the air. A dragon's roar rang out. A dragon punch formed pure energy sprang forth toward Logan. Oh! Logan wailed miserably as he fell from midair onto the ground. His back was utterly crushed, and he was dead. The entire crowd was silent. Everyone looked at Wilbur in fear. Wilbur looked at his punch and smiled in satisfaction. Although his spiritual energy had been depleted from the use of Dimensional Arrow, his physical strength and spirit energy had reached a terrifying level ever since he absorbed the powers of the Crystal Bone. Even if he did not use spiritual energy, an ordinary sanctuary-level cultivator was no longer his match. Wilbur killed 2 sanctuary-level cultivators with 1 punch each. That finally made everyone realize how terrifying his powers were.